Hello, classmates. Our journey continues in chapter 7. And of course, you have your textbook open and to chapter 7 and something to write on and to write with. And we are delving into the product part in chapter 7. The number one thing we need to really get into our heads is that a product is everything, and the service is one type of product. So if nothing else, please do keep this one in mind, okay? And this is how I try to really show us that it's a subcategory and how they're different. Now, are there businesses that offer both product and services? Well, absolutely. And I'm giving you here a link to my husband's shop. It's a car service business, and he offers the service, for example, diagnostics of fault errors, like the one where check engine light, right? And at the same time, he also sells parts. There are 3 levels to each and every product, and we're on 204. Let us use a cell phone as an example. There is the core customer value, which means it's really not about making phone calls so much anymore, right? Instead, what I'm getting out of my cell phone is I get entertainment, I get information, I stay in touch. There are so many different things that I can do with my cell phone. So in order to really serve our customers well, we as marketers have to make sure that the value that a customer wants from the product is built into that new product. And then we also need to make sure that we offer the services and warranties, and Apple has the App Store. Then there are 2 big categories. One is customer product, the other one is the industrial product kind of thing. Customer product means it's something that you and I buy. If you go to Safeway and you pick out a can of soup, well, boom, that's it. Whereas Safeway actually buys all those shelves that they have, and they purchase mops and detergent to clean with. So all these things are industrial products. For us as consumers, turns out that we actually have different kinds of purchasing behaviors depending on which one of the 4 classifications a product falls under. And I had a little fun here finding pictures, and here we go. There are the convenience ones. Those are the ones that we just grab. They're everywhere. It doesn't cost much. Shopping means that, yeah, we're definitely giving this some more thought. It is quite expensive, something we're gonna think about. Specialty, oh my goodness, you probably have all attended a wedding, and there are lots and lots of specialty products attached to weddings. And then finally there is the unsought one. Doesn't mean that we don't need it, but it does mean that we don't really want it. Life insurance is another example here. So how do we, as marketers, decide which products to offer? Well, that depends on our vision for the product line. So how many things do we have lined up, and how are they related? I will, in just a moment, give you an example of a cookie company, right? And then we use the mix, and this is something where I actually think more of things that didn't work out. Harley Davidson, you all know Harley Davidson, the motorcycle company? Well, one time they came out with a cake decorating kit. Well, that didn't fly, but they tried to broaden their product mix, and boy, did it flop. So let's think about Oreos, the US cookie, and second most popular cookie in America. And they offer so many different types of things now. So they have line extensions all over the place. Check out the link. Service, switching gears. Now that we looked at all the products, specifically the service business, here are the 4 things that make service products so very different. Well, we can't touch it, we can't store it, we can't put it in a freezer. That is number 1. Next one is that it really depends on who is providing the service for us consumers. And if you have ever flown, or so think about flight attendants, even though it's the same airline, can be a different experience. And then the number 3 thing is that you can't really separate the providers and the service. My haircutting place, for example, I have one haircutter I really like, and when she took some time off to get married and go on a honeymoon, I waited for her to come back. I didn't just randomly switch to another one. And can't be stored, can't be used, can't be handed over to somebody. But that's why they invented gift certificates. Interesting, isn't it? If we are a service business, then we have special challenges here. For example, we as a company need to really do some internal marketing to our employees, because the employees then interact with the customers, and they're supposed to provide that kind of service that we were hoping that they would provide. And outside of the actual service, we also need to do some external marketing in order to get our customers to give us a try for the first time. Make sense? Zappos, a very interesting case study, and check it out. I provided the link here for you. All of this together, meaning all the products, if they have the same brand name, then we are creating a brand, and there is money attached to the brand name. That's called brand equity. Money. The top 2 brands in America right now are Google and then Apple. And people, they actually figured out how many billions their brand is worth. Don't know how they did it. But for us as consumers, we need to make sure that we understand the difference, that we understand that we have some kind of take on how important it is to us which brand it is, and we can actually understand how they are different. And of course, there's this steam part, and this harkens back to a previous chapter where we talked about the microwave. Remember how it wasn't visible? All right. And of course, how do we decide on a brand name? Well, there are lots of things that we need to consider. And yes, indeed, you get to do this in our project. And with that, have a great time learning about all things product, and I'll see you online.